Greetings, everyone. I am Eva Marie Granberry, a public relations senior, and I am recording this way because my Zoom app doesn't work and I genuinely want to get my work done. So today I'm going to be studying the Kim Kardashian case study. The background and key facts on the Kim Kardashian case study is it's a well-known case when Kim Kardashian sued the Daily Mail back in 2016. In this case, she filed the Daily Mail a lawsuit against them because they recorded some very private photos and images of her while she was out to dinner and having a very vulnerable moment, and then they posted and broadcasted it all over their websites, their mail, and their newspaper. So what were the ethical implications on this case? So on this case, many ethical implications came about. Kim Kardashian argued that the photographs, they revealed her in a very vulnerable light and they invaded her privacy, and that Daily Mail used and exploited her images for monetary gain when they invaded her privacy and they didn't respect her human rights. So the defense argued that because she was a public figure that it was justified, and in many cases public figures do get their privacy invaded and they don't get the same sympathy that a regular human would get. But is that right? So what ethical implications specifically did Kim Kardashian argue in her case? Emotional distress was a big one. Kim Kardashian claimed that the publication of these photos caused her significant emotional distress. She claimed this because the images published her in a very vulnerable light of her crying and being emotional in a restaurant. And that was all over the mail, all over the website, and all over their newspaper. She further argued that the photos were part of a deliberate effort to exhibit her personal life for profit from the Daily Mail. Is that ethically right? The next ethical implication, I want to go over the framework. The framework specifically that I want to go over is utilitarian framework. This framework argues that the media outlet likely published the photos to maximize profit by selling the images. However, the emotional distress caused to Kim Kardashian could outweigh the benefits of the public. So a lot of people are nosy and they want to know what's going on in the Kardashians' life. What do they have going on? What is making them happy? What is making them sad? And a lot of sites, paparazzi, blogs, they do invade their privacy to give the scoop to the public. But is it worth it? And just because she's a public figure, does that validate what they're doing? Because me personally, I couldn't imagine having a very vulnerable personal moment and having someone record it, and I open the news and I see myself crying all over the world and they can see what I'm going through. Also, the strengths of this is this approach helps balance the positive, which is obviously the public's interest, while also balancing the negative consequences, which is obviously harm to Kim Kardashian's emotional standpoints and views. And I would say some weaknesses is the public's right to information or entertainment. It might be overvalued. Is the need to entertain worth invading somebody's personal space? Which outweighs the other? The next framework I want to go on is deontological framework. This framework emphasizes the focus on duties and moral principles, asserting that actions are right or wrong based on the inherent rules regardless of consequences. It's either right or wrong with this framework, and I personally resonate with it and I like this framework because in this case they say that the Daily Mail's actions are very unethical, because whether you were trying to report and get the scoop to the public and to the blog or get profit monetarily, you still invaded Kim Kardashian's privacy and recorded her in a very vulnerable and intimate light, and because of that, it's unethical. And this framework, it really does focus on the human of the subject, and I like that because a lot of people put the Kardashians in this spotlight and on this pedestal that takes the humanist out of them, but at the end of the day they might be a celebrity, but they're human just like us. Some strengths of this framework, it emphasizes the importance of respecting boundaries, rights, and dignity. And some weaknesses, it can be too rigid and may not always account for the complexities of balancing individual rights with the public right to information. It might be too far left as far as focusing on the individual's needs and privacy, but also sometimes the media does have the right to know information. So I included a chart of an ethical decision-making model. This, I would say, if you're a journalist or a future PR person, maybe you can go across this process before you post or publish any work to see, is it ethical? And in conclusion, I feel like both frameworks offer very valuable perspectives, very different contrasting perspectives, but I feel like they both are valued and they both are important. At the end of the day, I feel like the first one, the utilitarian approach, focuses more on getting the media attention and getting the information out to the media, but also the deontological approach also focus on getting the ethics out in journalism. And a lot of times when it comes to celebrities and public figures, ethics aren't considered and their personal rights and opinions aren't valued. And I feel like they should be humanized and their privacy should be respected more. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you for watching.